back to Seduce. Yuki here. Let's see. We're gonna be moving on to Diana's route now. So, yeah. So, basically, for Diana's route, I think I stated before, in a comment, is that basically mostly chaotic, but still pretty even. So yeah, we're just gonna skip through a lot and get to the actual Diana part. Okay. So skipping through all of this. Dragon Company.
Booyah!
Skip. I will show us fast as her as getting out of here. Mac and cheese and a soda. Sad grandpa stuff.
Is everything all right? What happened?
Naomi's right, Suzu.
Oh, man, come on!
Don't care, Lysette. I'm not gonna pressure him into saying anything because he doesn't explain. We have to hear it from our dead grandpa. Be mean to these guys.
How? You're just being violent now!
Jump and protect yourself. Skip. You can have it.
What? I appreciate the thought, but no thanks.
Waiting for this to catch up. That's too bad, are you sure? Skipping through. No. Skip. Smack.
Ugh.
Painful backstory. That's not really that painful. So then, so I didn't? Okay. Laughing. Party. Sleep. Hang out with Naomi and Suzu, and then kind of jilting them a little bit. They're my brothers.
They're your brothers?
Skip. I'll go out with Suzu.
Are you
and
sure?
Naomi. Yep. You need to teach me, Suzu.
You just need to eat.
The cafe.
Hey, girls, hey! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you! Have a seat, I'll be with you in a minute, okay?
And there she is, as busy as usual. Told you we should have gone to the arcade first.
Naomi glared at Suzu before leading us to a table to sit at. Suzu sat across from me as Naomi sat to my side, a couple of seconds of settling into our seats, Kay slid into the empty fourth seat with a smile.
So, how's everything been?
Crazy.
Life's always crazy with you. But I can tell Suzu's not happy to be here. That kind of breaks my heart, you know.
All that stuff. I'm ready. Skip the party. I'm doing my best.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather.
Thank you for your condolences.
Do you have college?
There's a possibility.
What do you think will happen?
It'll get back
What
on
do you
track
think
soon.
of the...
It is a policy that reflects my own values, so I personally think it's great.
Do you think the company...
It's a possibility. Simply not to him. Thank you.
You're welcome. Praise.
Stay put. Skip. Malik. Leave them alone. Skip. Duck. Skip. Skip. Explore the house. Skip. Try. Skip. Learn about magic. Don't disturb them. Skip. It doesn't matter. Cold cut sandwiches. Skip. Go eat in your room alone. I think I'm gonna stay in my room. I needed to stay in. There was really no need to spend my day anywhere except at home. I'll just entertain myself. The question was, how? Browse the internet. The internet. It was seductive beauty on my laptop computer screen. I decided that the best way to spend my day was in my bed, rummaging through the glorious world that was the internet. Getting comfy on my bed, I logged into my laptop and opened a browser. Automatically, it brought me to my email. 7 new college emails. Great. In almost perfect order, Harvard, Stanford, and 3 other business-oriented schools had emailed me invitations to visit their campus. I sighed and rolled my shoulders. Sunday. No work day. I closed out and looked into Roller. If it weren't for the overly dramatic hate on the site, Roller could practically be the greatest website ever created. Gifts, facts, hate, and the blogs all in one beautifully crafted blue website. Perfect for wasting time and entertaining yourself, Tumblr. I really should change my theme, but to what? I sighed and let the thought slip from my mind. What replaced it, though, was the reality I was in. Magic, huh? I decided to search for demons in the search bar for Roller. As expected, all that came up were pictures, either photoshopped or digitally drawn, or fictitious ideas of demons. Horns, wings, sharp teeth, blood. The whole stereotype was that in that results page. I couldn't help but smirk a bit. If only they knew the truth, how many posts would explode? As I scrolled, one post caught my attention. Chicago fantasy? I skimmed through the post to see snapshots of Chicago and a long essay from a user named The Raven That Got Kissed. Weird name. The essay talked about demons appearing at the worst possible times as a vampire war was starting in the dark corners of Chicago. I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Vampires. Well, if demons were real, why not vampires? At the very end, however, the writer made a cute advertisement about an establishment called The Raven's Kiss, which was a hipster gothic-style coffee shop in the outskirts of Chicago. Oh, I'm learning so much. I'll have to check it out sometime. I continued to skim through Roller, losing track of time until my stomach started growling for dinner. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. And surprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly the next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I looked to my alarm. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Well, hey, I must be lucky today. Karma owed me some luck. After all I had gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet, and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I checked the time. 6:30. Perfect. I have enough time to eat breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs into the kitchen. I quickly made myself coffee and toast, not having time for anything big. I let out a soft sigh in happiness as I sipped my coffee. I felt great, and it felt like nothing could stop me today. Come at me today. I'm ready for you. I looked to the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to the school, talking about the homework that had been the coming day. We made it to the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. Naomi and Suzu and me, and then there's Lysette, but I don't care about Lysette. Glare into her soul. I glared at Lysette, feeling wisps of air and magic run through my skin and veins. However, I stopped at what I saw. Around Lysette was a dark purple aura that seemed all too familiar. It was like demon magic, but it seemed to be tamer. I slowly rose to my feet, collecting my belongings as I continued to stare at Lysette. Something was off. As I continued to look at her, the aura grew, forming a shadow behind Lysette with red-eyed like shapes glowing from within its darkness.
Anderson, you alright?
I couldn't respond. I was entranced by a small hum in the air. It was distant, almost like an ethereal whisper you'd hear in horror games. But it was real. It sounded vaguely of a woman humming a tune I didn't recognize.
Hey, are you okay?
Let's go. We'll be late for class. I suddenly felt the need to walk away, so I did. Naomi and Suzu scrambled to catch up and followed at my new quickened pace.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost.
Are you really okay? That fall was pretty bad.
Think she saw underneath Lisette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
Oh, Suzu, hush!
No, something was wrong with Lysette. It was more than just her being mean. There was something or someone watching over Lysette. Or they were watching me behind Lysette. What they were doing, I didn't know, but it was definitely demonic. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident. I went to class, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. As the bell rang for school to end, my phone vibrated in my pocket, and I don't care about this anymore. Fight! What was in that book?
What are you whimpering?
Grandpa.
I'm just so happy that my curiosity stayed with you.
So my grandfather met the incubi. This seemed so surreal. I could hardly believe it, yet here was the spirit of my grandfather telling me. It was almost like a dream. So, you introduced them to the human world? Oh! And then they leave and I'm sad. Tomorrow I had school. No devils to kidnap me, no incubi to wake up with. I went to bed that night accepting and not regretting anything. Or so I had hoped.
You are an interesting creature.
I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let out another smirk grow on her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. Who the hell are you, and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. Let me fix this. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now succubus. Great, I have now met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty, but you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
This one wasn't serious, was she? She comes into my room and spouts this? This was ridiculous. I began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
I froze in place. What? They were gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard at her as she kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can, but I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I stared, trying to find any hint of if she was lying. She had to be. The boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to believe her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not deserve to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house, wounded, and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those moments. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back to me, amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
Yes, there was.
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Diana flipped her hair before looking to me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you, one way or another.
I glared, standing my ground. You're not taking my memories. I'm not letting you take them.
And what do you plan to do with them, huh? Tell the press? Gossip to your friends that demons exist? Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
What did she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was being open to all thought. How is that anything close to being gullible?
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret. There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of, and you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
I couldn't believe my ears. There was more than just demons. Other fictional creatures existed. There was a system? What? Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
I looked down at the ground and see something that made every nerve in my body quickly quake in fear. On the ground was a large open mouth with sharp, wet teeth, leading to an empty, black abyss. I could feel the heat of the mouth's breath pant against my flowing body. Ah! I looked to Diana, who was looking at me with a stern and almost heartless gaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories, or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
I was panicking. I was going to die, about to die again. The boys were here to protect me. The boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? Make a deal with Diana. Then I remembered, demons had a conscience. They weren't heartless without reason. She could be reasoned with. She seemed like a businesswoman. Wait!
What? You're wasting my time.
What about a deal, huh? Diana raised an eyebrow. I was afraid she wasn't going to listen. What if she was as ruthless as I imagined her to be?
I'm listening.
Wait, really? Was she really willing to listen to me? She didn't drop me in the pit of death, but she didn't let me out of her spell. Now was a good time as any to try reason. These memories are precious to me, but they're not worth me losing my life.
Of course.
I mean, if I die, people will wonder and try to find explanation to why I died, or where I disappeared to.
Then just hand over your memories.
Well, what if I traded them to you instead? You seem like a reasonable businesswoman. A trade is better than forcing me to give in, right? This was insane. I didn't even know what she was willing to listen. She was already had me hanging over a pit of death. The only reason I could help was her being forgiving enough to listen to a reason.
Well, speak your terms. What do you want in exchange?
I let out a relieved sigh. She was willing to listen further. Well, what can you give me in return for them?
I'm a demon. I can give you anything within reason. Money, men, women, power. Name it. Just make it worth the price.
Alright. She couldn't really get me anything. She could really get me anything? This thing keeps falling. My mind began to wander. What did I want? Her. I heard Diana stifle a laugh.
Me? Are you serious? What do you mean, me?
I looked to Diana again. She was indeed scared, but she was gorgeous, and somehow she interested me. More so than the boys. I mean, you staying with me for a little while. I want to get to know you, and these rules you're talking about.
A human wanting to know more about a demon and the rules. You're really trying to step over your place, especially if you'll be losing those memories in the end.
I'm serious. I'll give you my memories and energy if you stay just for a couple of days. A day even. It'll be worth it.
Completely willingly?
Completely willingly.
And if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain?
Then you can feed me to your pit beast. Did that really slip out of my mouth? Was I really wanting to put my life back on the line again? Apparently. If it meant keeping my memories for a little longer, then yes. Diana looked to me, scanning my body with her eyes for any signs of false intent. I didn't have any, so Diana sighed and snapped her fingers again. The demon below me vanished, and I was slowly lowered to the ground. I looked to Diana in surprise.
You are very lucky demon magic is so finicky.
What do you mean?
Why do you think demons make deals with humans like you?
I wasn't sure. Demons were still new to me. I had heard stories of people making deals with demons and only ruin coming from it. Diana sighed.
It's one thing to take your memories or your energy. It's another for you to willingly give it. We get more for our effort if the one we make a deal with is willing. Think of it like sex. If I'm aroused and you're willing to open your legs for me, I'll get pleasure. I'll enjoy it. You might enjoy it. And it's done.
Okay.
But if you aren't willing and I force myself on you anyway, it's not so pleasurable for me. Even if I get what I want, it won't be as worth the effort.
Strangely, that made sense. It was very much like a business. If I had what they want, they could negotiate for it, or they could take it away anyway, but not without a fight. Were they all really business-oriented? My curiosity about demons grew as I realized what deal I had made. So you'll stay for a couple of days?
A day is enough.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Diana looked at me up and down once again. I felt a little naked all of a sudden under her gaze, but I ignored it as she shrugged.
All right.
Diana kept her eyes on me, unsure what was going on from the look on her face.
So, what do you want to know? You're obviously curious about demons enough to make a deal with me.
My first thought shot to her, but then I remembered the boys. Not all of my questions were answered, and I wanted to know everything. First of all, who exactly are you? Diana chuckled before crossing her arms.
You may refer to me as simply Diana. As I said before, I'm a succubus, and I intend to bring the boys back home.
Back home? What do you mean? Back to the demon world?
Precisely. They don't belong here, and it's imperative that they return.
Why?
Did they not tell you? They're runaway royals.
I couldn't believe my ears. What? They were royalty? How would they run away from royalty? Diana simply smirked at my new surprised face.
Ah, so they didn't tell you. How unfortunate. You were in the presence of a demon prince and his noble brothers, and you didn't even know.
I felt myself unconsciously walk over and sit on my bed. They hid something gigantic from me. Why? Did they not trust me? Well, no, because we were basically being really mean to them since they got there. Then again, it had only been a couple of days, yet they helped me and were here for me regardless, acting like servants instead of noblemen. I gripped my head in frustration. What am I supposed to believe?
Believe whatever you wish. The confusion will fade away soon enough, regardless.
I looked to Diana, who only gave me an almost somber look in return. She was serious about removing my memories, but she would keep her end of the deal until I learned all I could. I felt thrilled to have her. Maybe it was because she was a succubus. I didn't know. I sighed and faced Diana. So how did you get to the human world? How did the boys get here?
With the help of a human, in both of our cases. There's truly no need for details beyond that. Any human can cast a demon's summoning spell. It's just a matter of what happens during the summoning and after where things get tricky.
What do you mean?
Well, if a human is willing, only part of their life force is taken from them, and they are given one chance to open a bridge between our worlds to allow the demon they desire to come through. The more demons come through, the more life force the spell takes.
Oh. Could this be why my grandfather was so sick and died?
Luckily for the poor human that brought them here, the boys sacrificed some of their own powers to open the bridge instead of letting the spell feed solely on the human. The human lived, and the boys came through.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That almost made sense. Something in my mind clicked, but I couldn't clear it out to figure out what it was. I only nodded to Diana. And you were the same?
Somewhat. However, I don't care to go into details about how I came here. You'll forget soon enough.
That's not part of our deal.
You wish to have me around for more information. I get to decide what information to give.
Cheater.
It's not cheating if it's not a broken rule.
I huffed and crossed my arms and legs. Diana was a game player and I didn't like her rules. However, there were the rules and I had to accept it in order to keep my memories a little while longer. I'd find a way to remember. She wasn't going to win. Diana let out a small chuckle and ran a hand through her hair.
Well, I believe I should head to bed. If I'm to stay here, then I need some form of sleep.
I watched as Diana through my room to the door and opened it. She turned to me with a small wink.
Have a good night.
Allie.
See you in the morning.
Before I could respond, she exited my room and closed the door behind her. I stared. It was like she was in control. I almost gritted my teeth at the thought. She wasn't the master of the house. Seriously, what's up with you and power? I was. I huffed and crawled back into the covers. How did my life get so complicated? What was going on with me? I must have had some seriously bad luck. I sighed and covered myself with my blankets, wanting tonight to end. I needed tomorrow to come. School would take my mind off things. If school actually happened anyway. I awoke that morning minutes before my alarm. I felt slightly groggy, but I didn't exactly feel bad. It was more like a physical exhaustion with a mind ready to take on the day. I stretched and quickly changed into my clothes before heading downstairs with my bag. As I reached the lobby, I stopped and sniffed the sudden new smell in the air. Breakfast? I continued my way down to the dining room to see Diana laying out a plate covered with sliced fruit. On the table there were delicious smelling eggs, toast, bacon, ham, veggies, and juice. I felt my mouth salivate. How would a princess know how to do all of this stuff? And how could princes know how to do that stuff too? I don't know. But then I remembered that it was Diana serving breakfast, and I shook my head. What are you doing?
Ah, you're up. Come. Breakfast. I didn't know what you liked, so I made everything I knew humans ate for this time of day.
I walked over and scanned the table before giggling. Diana raised an eyebrow at me.
And what is so funny?
You didn't make everything breakfast related. You forgot a couple things.
Like what?
Coffee, pancakes, waffles. Diana looked almost insulted before looking to the table and recounting the plates. I laughed harder, making her glare at me.
I haven't been in the human world long enough to know everything, all right? Unlike the boys, I know little to nothing about what you humans eat in your homes.
At the mention of the boys, I suddenly remembered them. They treated me like part of their family, caring for me and making sure I was okay beyond anything else. They were servants to me, and I let them go. Oh, I hate that word. I let out a sigh at this memory. Little did I know that Diana stared at me with the entire time. I shook my head and looked at the table, getting an empty plate and filling it with what I wanted before sitting and eating. Diana remained standing, watching me. I felt almost naked under her gaze, so I looked over, pausing my eating. Aren't you going to eat?
I already ate.
What did you eat?
You really wish to know?
Yes. I wanted to know more about demons. I wanted to know more about her. Of course I said yes. Diana stared in surprise at me before smirking a bit and reaching into her cleavage. How much stuff does she fill in there? I watched as she pulled out a small purple vial. She popped the cork and poured a mere couple of sipfuls into her palm before corking the vial and placing it back in her dress. Diana closed her eyes and closed her hand. What was she doing? It was odd to watch, yet at the same time I was practically at the edge of my seat in curiosity. What was she going to do? Her hands started to open, almost like a blossoming flower, and revealed a small peach-sized fruit. It was purple and almost an enchanting smell that made my food seem almost disgusting.
A plant from the abyssal plains. We call it a sweet flower. Would you like to try it?
Yes. I nodded, staring at the fruit. It looked absolutely glorious and delectable. I couldn't resist grabbing onto the chance to try it. Diana nodded before cupping the fruit in both hands and pulling the purple flesh from the fruit, revealing a juicy blackish center, as if it was cut into the inside. As if it was cut on the inside. Diana pulled out a perfect slice and handed it to me.
I must say, you may be the first human to try this fruit. You should consider yourself lucky.
I nodded, not pulling my eyes away from the fruit slice in my hand. It was juicy, and its clear juice painted over my fingers. I somehow didn't care. I wanted to try and savor it. I lifted the small slice to my lips and took a small bite, feeling ecstasy run through my mouth. I almost couldn't fight back the moan that was erupting from my throat. It was sweet, yet it was slightly tart. It was the perfect combination, and at the same time it felt so unnatural. I felt not only pleasure in my mouth, but my body began to feel energized and warm. All that from a small bite. I swallowed the bite full and let out a pleasured sigh, making Diana smirk slightly at me with a raised eyebrow. I couldn't lie to her about how it tasted. It's delicious.
That it is. They're natively grown in my kingdom, so I have the pleasure of enjoying these every day.
You have a kingdom?
I do. The boys are not the only royals in the demon world, sweetie. I just so happen to be a princess.
I stared in surprise. She was really a princess? How? She looked so mature. She was more of a queen than a princess. Really? You're a princess? You seem more like a queen. For a split second, I swore I saw Diana blush, but as she started to laugh, I shook my head with thought.
You flatter me, little girl. You best be careful. I may just take your flattery as an invitation to take your energy.
I shut my mouth, feeling a blush run across my own cheeks. I returned to eating the fruit, hearing her chuckle and eat the remainder of the fruit on her own. Surprisingly, I felt full just from the small slice. How could that be? The only explanation I had was that it was a demon fruit, so I mentally accepted it as just that. What I didn't expect was Diana leaning over and lifting my chin to look down at me.
Messy, aren't you?
You? I stared as Diana came closer and gently kissed my cheek by the corner of my lip, making me gasp slightly. What was she doing? Why was she kissing my cheek? I was red in the face already, and here she was taking advantage. Diana pulled away and slightly licked and pucked her lips. I feel violated. What?
You had a little juice on the side of your lip. It was bothering me.
I ran my finger over where she kissed me and felt my face grow red even hotter. Diana chuckled slightly at the sight and making me almost glare at her. I didn't know if she was flirting with me or trying to embarrass me. Either way, she was winning. Eventually, my alarm started going off, reminding me to be ready for Naomi and Suzu. Right, school was a thing. I stood from my chair and grabbed my bag, walking out of the dining room.
And where are you going, might I ask?
I have to go to school.
Ah, I see.
I looked at Diana, feeling that she was up to something. She had her arms crossed, looking to me as if I owed her something. What?
Well, I don't exactly want you to leave this house with the memories you have. I'd be breaking the rules if I allowed that.
But we had a deal. You stay for a day, I keep my memories until you leave. I still have to go to school, though.
Then skip school and stay home.
What?
That, or I go with you.
Ow. What? Ow. Ow, my hand. Alright. Diana was crazy. Just going to my school was practically signing a death wish. Everyone would ask about her. What would I tell everyone? It's crazy.
I can't let you leave this house with those memories unless I'm with you. Rules are rules.
What rules?
The rules of the world, sweetie.
Rules of the world? What was she talking about?
The rules applies to any magical being that lives in the human world. They were established on a day you humans might know as the birth date of Jesus Christ.
Wait, so does this mean Christianity is legitimate?
It's a story to some, a religious faith to others. I won't deny or prove a religion exists because that's a human matter. Magical beings, on the other hand, don't pay attention unless they're angels from the world of heaven.
My curiosity was picking at my mind like a frantic bird. I wanted to know more. Diana was giving me answers and I wanted to ask more questions. However, I had to go to school. I was conflicted.
Stay, and I'll tell you more of these rules.
And if I go?
Then I take your memories. Now.
I was trapped. There was no way I could bring Diana with me without some repercussion. If she took my memories now, then I'd go to school without remembering anything. However, if I stayed, I could learn more, but I'd miss school. I'll stay. I bit my lip. Did I really want to stay? I could feel my fingers run over my phone and call up Naomi. Without even listening to the phone, I spoke into it. Hey girls, I'm feeling really sick. Don't worry about coming in. Don't come over. I'm staying and getting better. I hung up without even acknowledging Naomi or Susie on the other end. She controlled me. Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to turn to her fully. I threw my bag to the side and looked to Diana, ready to learn more. And I think we should stop here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Oh, one more thing. Thank you so much for the 150 plus subscribers, and yeah. I don't know what else to say other than that. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!